So uh, we did a Trello. Basically, I kind of stole this idea from other people doing Trellos, obviously. And basically, all the Trello really is a place for the community to actually vote on stuff that we're working on, and to keep people somewhat more up to date. Um, Sorry, I've lost your Twitch chat. There you go. Hopefully, I do pop out a bot. Uh, I need to pop out the chat. Okay, 1 second. You guys are beautiful people, by the way. So, the Trello is kind of here to keep everyone up to date, as well as actually me work with the team and leave little notes. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Pop out chat, pop out chat. Okay, there we go. Okay, there you go. You guys can be here. We can have a chat, conversation together. My preview doesn't really work. Okay, cool. Is that a BTTV update? Anyway, so basically the Trello works. This is just random stuff, like some of our early concepts and some alternative skins, just so you guys can have them here. You can always vote on them as well. If you like, the more stuff that gets voted on, when we get to it, we'll probably pick the most voted stuff and actually start using that to work with in the game first, okay? Where did... Okay. So, if I'm going to make a Devily bot or a Smiley bot has 6 votes, so I'd probably tell an artist, work on a Smiley bot first, because it's higher demand. So that makes sense. Then we've got like just the basics of the features and some stuff that we know that we have to put in game for not necessarily alpha, but once we get out of alpha. So you guys can just vote on like, matchmaking, do you want a tournament system? We got to sort out dedicated servers. Do you guys want a public game design document, something which is like a slimmed down version of the game? I've got to make sure the HUD gets done. We've had modding tools, in-game VoIP, so you can shout at each other, party clan system, rankings, account system, lots of different game modes. Match APIs for websites and some modding tools for the game modes. So you just meant to go through here and just kind of vote. There's a small description on like stuff, so if you actually click it, I put a description in, so it's like, enter an automated tournament suited to your skill level and compete for prize money and fame and all that shit. So you can vote here, and the stuff that's next to that, which are accepted pending tasks of Doom, this is stuff that we're working on, or we've agreed to do for the kind of alpha Kickstarter build. Okay, mounting, killing Kaz. So, obviously robot rigging, we're waiting for the robot to be finished in low poly. Martin from Stunlock is working 4 days next week on that, and hopefully it should be done, unless there's any problems, which there shouldn't be. And then robot animations and basic level asset textures, which will be stuff like item pickups, armors and healths and all that other stuff. Need to sort out the GUI. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it well with the current team, because we don't actually have like a strong GUI 2D artist. Omar is probably the best person for it right now, but he's working a lot on the 3D stuff for the models for the in-game, and then yeah, just all this kind of stuff. And I've just kind of separated the colors just for people to quickly see who works on stuff. And then people are working on this, so Martin's still doing the robot. Johan's done some level textures, just example ones for the team so they can get into it. And then these weapons are still being worked on. Level asset models, which is all the kind of like blocks and stuff, is still being worked on. And then Johan did a concept for shotgun. I'm not. I like it, but I don't think it's a shotgun. Problem with the weapon, I kind of like the shotgun to feel a bit more shotgunny. So it's meant to be every time you fire, it rotates and it has 3 barrels. So yeah, it's not ideal for me, but it's still an interesting looking weapon at least. So I'll probably have to ask him to do some more iterations. Looks like a plasma cannon, looks like a railgun. Yeah, it doesn't feel shotgunny. I mean, it's not. You're not really going to be able to like understand like fully, like me neither, until you get like a first-person view. Mm. Sapvish. I agree with you, Sapvish. Shotgun is the most redneck weapon, so it needs to look less futuristic. Absolutely agree with you, and that's what I kind of wrote that in the comments. I was just like, I think shotguns that keep that retro shotgun shape and feel work better. It depends on how the POV works. We might need to go another direction. Yeah, agreed. Application. If it does have a rotation per shot, it feels like it could be something else. So, honestly, it could be like a lightning gun for all I care. Um, it's just just from your comments in chat, I won't do a poll, but I'm going to have him go a couple different directions with it. Anyway, so the working on tab is just what like the team's doing. Um, so Oliver is working on weapons. I got a bunch of people doing level assets, and then Johan's kind of working on some of these concepts, and hopefully Martin's done with this next week. And then once people have kind of done their stuff, they're meant to go over for review. And when they go over to review, I move them over because it's fun. Move tasks over like this, and then I write, and then basically I take a meeting with them and just kind of reference this page, so everything's in one place since I've been uploading all the artwork here, which is helpful because then you guys can see what we're doing. Alright, so under review, the diabotical name is going to stay. No one gave me better names. Some people did give me probably better names, like Bionic and other stuff, but I didn't. I got the .com, right? Diabotical.com. It's ours. So I'm happy. I don't care about the name. It's fine. It's growing on people, and you guys are gonna love it. We're gonna work on the logo a bit, so this won't be the final logo. We had a meeting about that on Thursday, and we talked about some of the stuff that we're gonna go for. So there's gonna be more iterations of the logos over the next kind of 2-3 weeks, and then we decide. Some of the early concepts that we've got here for review. The one that we'll probably start with first is the cylinder bot. We're going to do an iteration of we're going to make this after we make the circle bot, because we have a character artist that's waiting for work to be delivered. Also, Johan did a tube bot. I don't particularly like it. Big problem with the tube bot is basically like if this is going to be defaulted to white when you see the front of the robot, you're just going to say to yourself, I don't know what team color it's on. So you'll be like, eh. So I'm almost thinking like the way I've designed some of the movement systems and not the movement systems, but some of the abilities, like I almost don't even feel like I need like 5 classes right now. And I'd be happy. So this is under review. I'll talk to people about that. This is also being reworked on, actually. So it's being worked on by Omar. It has been reviewed. This stuff hasn't really been reviewed. And then some of the stuff that we're just happy with that's complete I put here for version 0. So basically it's the environment piece. You know, even though like some of this environment piece isn't really complete because we have to remove the pillar here and the boxes. You shouldn't have collision on the floors near the floors on the walls, because it's very unquakey. If you're going to put like pipes and stuff in, you're basically making an old Emerald tournament where the maps are very cluttery and shit. But happy with the minigun, happy with the egg, happy with the rocket launcher, which is always being improved upon. Stuff we put in game goes here. So yeah, there is chat, there's multiplayer map editing, there's kind of map editing-ish when it's broken, a map viewer. I don't know who put that there. That wasn't me. We got the free movement physics kind of in, but they're broken right now until I fix the maps, and basic settings is also there. And then basically stuff that just needs an iteration. So our splash art, basically I just need to wait for the logo to be done. And then we're going to put all the resolutions in here for the community. So once this is worked on, it probably won't have much work on it itself, because it's a bit stylized, so we're not going to go through and clean up all the brush strokes. But once the logo's done, we'll clean it up a bit, and then we'll give you all the different resolutions. And then basically once this is done, you know, and it's actually like if he was working on doing the resolutions or just cleaning it up, he'd put it here. But he's waiting for it, obviously, for the logo. And then once that's done, it goes here, and then it's either ready for the alpha build or it's ready for the website and media assets, which are there. And then once that's done, that's shit that's in game. Okay? That's how the Trello kind of works. I just move things along very slowly. And you guys can just basically, I even think you can just like maybe even download images off it if you really want to. And then you can just vote on stuff, and I'll put more stuff up there, and it'll be great. Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to hit the Kickstarter in May. So I think the Kickstarter will be pushed back a tiny bit, which is fine by me, because I'm in no rush to fuck up a Kickstarter. So let's do what we can do. And yeah, the entire concept is based around an FPS, because it's meant to be a spiritual successor to Quake. Okay. So I also had a meeting with the artists, and I need to fix the map editor. And I was meant to work with Firefrog today on the map editor. He was awake, and I was asleep. But when I was awake, he was asleep. So whatever. But basically, we've looked at this concept, and we've tried to break it down for us to work on. And what we've decided is that we're going to do kind of module blocks of 300 by 300 by 300. Let's just give it that size. And a 300 block will kind of be like this tool. So from the floor to here. And then, so this wall will actually be like 3 modules, like 300 blocks, like 1, 2, 3. And that's how you would make that wall. So the level artists right now, or the artists working on the levels, because not everyone's an artist that does many things on this project, basically just going to start making the blocks, modules, for this map. I convinced Firefrog that we need to use props, which is great. So the floors will be modules and blocks, and then like this, this, these, maybe that, if we keep that, or the pipe would be props, and you can just add a prop into the engine, and then you'll have a gizmo, as we talked about last time, okay? But we've decided on the size now, which is really important. So our modules will be 300 by 300, but there will be 100 by 100 grid, okay? Fuck. Like, I'm quite annoyed because I was meant to work with Firefrog today and fix the scaling of the map, but I didn't do so because I was asleep. And because I've got an old engine, I mean, I could have shown you in the new, no, I've got a new engine. I could have shown you the old engine. So these are giant blocks. You can ignore these. These blocks are 1,000 by 1,000 or something, and the actual blocks are going to be 300 by 300. But the blocks are going to be 300 by 300, but they're going to be snappable to 100 by 100 grid. So you'll always have, when you're building architecture for your map in terms of floors, walls, ceilings, ramps, stairs, anything, which is just kind of very structural outside of props, you put the, you choose the kind of what you're dropping, and it can be different dimensions. It doesn't have to be 300 by 300. It can be like 300 by 100 by 100, which would be a 300 high wall, but then it would only be 100 deep and 100 wide, so it would be more of a wall. And then you can drop that in, and then you can actually just move it in the 100 by 100 grid, okay? And everything will snap to like the units of 100. Your character will probably be roughly about 100 high as well, so you'll be the size of a single block. And then if you jump, you'll be able to jump to the second block, and also you have double jump, so if you double jump, you'll be able to jump to the third block, which means you can probably get to 300 units high off a double jump, which then works out, because if you're using a 300 by 300 by 300 module as your core of map building stuff, then you can jump one of those as well. So that's how it's going to work. Does that make any fucking sense? I need to draw it. I need to, basically, I need to talk to Firefrog and just be like, yo, scale the map back to where it was and do this. And then he'll do like, okay. And then he'll program, and then it will be done. And then I can work on physics again, because then the map size will be fine. And I can block out a map. But, yeah, it's not there. I don't need eyes. Basically, what I'm saying is this is a 300 by 300 block, but then there will be 100 slices in it, and you can just move it. 300, yeah, I don't say 3 properly. Do you guys want to see fucking MS Paint skills or some shit? I'm going to explain it to you. This is actually kind of maybe interesting for map editors, at least. This is, whatever. Alright, motherfuckers. I got my line. Okay. So, this is a cube. Whoops. Cube, please. Alright, bitches. My cube is wonky. So if this is a 300 by 300 cube, that would relate to this part here. So this would be, that would be 300 high just to there, and then that would be 300, and that would be 300, okay? Right? You guys happy? So what will happen is that you'll make these, we'll make these 300 by 300 cubes, but within these 300 by 300 cubes, there will be a grid, and the grid will actually kind of be, like separating your cube it won't separate your cube, sorry, your whatever you've done in here, you'll have, but you'll have a grid that will actually be 100 units each. So this will be 100, this will be 100, that will be 100, and it will go this way as well. I love drawing you guys stuff. Okay, so the grid is like this. So if you drop a 300 by 300 block, basically you can just like move it and it will always snap to 100. So if you want it to start on this 100 instead of where you put it originally and push it back one, you just move it over, okay? But a lot of the stuff will be like kind of solid. This is very different from what we were doing before, because before we were just doing like blocks, and the blocks were literally all 100 by 100, and you had to build a map from 100 by 100 blocks. This way we're doing it so you can have any shape of kind of Tetris-y shit. So for example, a 300 by 300 block wouldn't make a great wall, just because it would, you know, be shit as a wall would go. So we'll probably end up doing something like, so a floor piece would basically, like a floor tile would be like this. Oh god, James, your art is not good. A floor tile would probably be 300 by 100, just because, yo, please. Yo. Whatever. A floor tile would be 300 by 100. Because if you were to use this floor tile halfway up the map on a second level, you would be very sad if you had to have a 300 unit like difference, and it would make your game and make your map look really shit. So that would be a floor tile, and then anything that's like 300 by 300 by 100, which is a floor tile, I would put into the menu as floors, and anything that was the other way around, where it was, you know, 300 height, would be there. Yeah, you can make a dick shape block, I mean, if you really want to, but like, who's going to use that apart from everybody? So that's how that's going to work. And also we got props now, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the floor is crooked, I do apologize. But what we'll do is we'll end up making you guys kind of like modules, which will be like predefined stairs, to help take away like maybe the anxiety of building the right heights. So when we make you a set of stairs, the set of stairs will probably be that of a size that would be recommended to be a level 1 to level 2 difference. So you'll have like very interesting shapes that you'll be able to drop. Okay? This is kind of fucking decided, right? I only have to speak to Firefrog because I didn't talk to him since Thursday. But I've talked to the artists. I spoke to some Quake Live map developers. One of them that's in Stockholm. And I was like, we're going to do this, and then there's going to be snappable grid, and then you can work outside the grid with props. Everyone happy? Good. Yes, done. Fucking decided. Because the last thing I need to actually do is keep fucking around with the grid size, the block size, and the philosophy of what the blocks are meant to do. But yeah, so if I was going to give you stairs, for example, let's say that this was a set of stairs. This would actually probably, within a block, exist within 100 by 100 units. Which means that, you know, that's actually, you know, just takes up this much room here. And obviously that's 300. So we'll say that's 300. And then you can just, like, kind of tile these up, or we could give you one which we suggest is the difference between the bottom level to the top level. Sorry, to the middle level, if you're going to use a middle level. And so when you drop stuff like corridors, stairs, what else? Ramps, curved stairs, spiral stairs, whatever. These items that you drop are going to take up probably more room than the 300 by 300, but what it will say to the user who's making the map, which is like, this is kind of the normal size of a stairs. And so when people are creating maps as a community, they don't suffer from making a map which was like way bigger or way smaller than they thought the gameplay was meant to be, you know, to fit. So a lot of the items and a lot of the modules and the wall size and the kind of, you know, what we're going to give are going to fit the gameplay. And by deciding that an average wall is 3 blocks high and the height of the character is, say, 100, you know, 1 block, I can then actually go in and start making the gameplay work again, and then we have a map and a gameplay that works for that map, and then we give all the assets to the community. So that's how we're going to approach this. So you're going to be working in still the grid, but you'll have a little bit more freedom, and it should be better. And I've decided on it, so it's been decided. There you go. Is the stairs going up or down? Up. Ah, whatever. Great picture, great picture. But yeah, so yeah, so this will be like a 300 by 300 by 300 cube here, and these floors, I mean, there'll probably be a 300 by 300 version to start with because it's easier for us. But these floors, I'd expect if they're your bottom floor, you can probably just use 300 by 300 by 300 because you've also got some room here for building a void you fall down in, apparently. What is 100 by 100 units? Is it centimeter? No, 100 by 100 units is just what we have in the game. I mean, we could, it doesn't really matter what they are, but it's all relative to each other. I mean, you could make it, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, they might as well be 50 by 50 or 10 by 10, right? I did just really wonder if the stairs were going up and down. Okay, so I'm gonna get the engine fixed with Firefrog, and then I'm gonna block out this map, and then the artists are busy making the assets for it, and then once the map is blocked out, I'm going to jump back into gameplay finally, and from there we just keep going. But that's kind of what I've been doing. I've just been I also spoke to a voice announcer. Oh, a second. I work in I make notes in I spoke to a sorry, this is one of our game design documents. So this is my note section of the game design document. So I spoke to a voice I spoke to a voice actor group on Twitch TV. Actually, I can give you their link. He's a nice dude. And so I'm gonna get him to do some of the VO for the stuff. You won't be able to. He's not live, but this is the guy that I'm asking to do some voiceover. Yeah, I mean, I just wrote random shit here, right? But the idea is of the voice announcer, this is probably like, you have a global announcer. Global announcer will either be kind of, I should never write Quake freestyle, but generic. The generic voice announcer. I think, do you guys really want male and female, like, a voice act, like a global announcer? Or would you rather the global announcer just be like the male one? Because it's like, do you want male and female? We can do a straw poll, because fuck it. Because I need to know, because I got to write lines and tell them what I need recording. global voice, global announcer, by the way, is basically um, the person that kind of says like 3, 2, 1, fight. Um, and and I don't really want to have too much customization around the global voice announcer, because the global voice announcer is just kind of like, it's there, it's kind of persistent, and it's 3, 2, 1 fight, it's you win, you lose, victory, defeat, whatever, right? Then your robot itself that you control will have its own announcer, and the robot will have a lot of personality, right? So when you have a robot, you can have your robot will say stuff to other robots, but you know, if you kill them, or your robot will say stuff to you, or your robot is basically got like a software disk and it has its own voiceover work done for it. So with the global announcer pack, I was only going to do like a male and female, and then I was told maybe just to do male, or you know, just to do one. And then when you get your robot, you can pick kind of like, do you want your robot to kind of be like Duke Nukem's your mate, and your robot's just basically like saying shit, or do you want your robot to be Marvin Depressed? Do you want your robot to be a sexy female voice or a sexy male voice? You know, and your robot will actually be the injection of cosmetic and personality into the game, but the global announcer will be that kind of standard. Because if you change the global announcer's voice, all you're really doing is changing it for yourself. But if you change the robot voice, you're actually changing it for other players, and the cosmetic actually has a more impact into the game, because you can kill somebody and then your robot can brag, and we can send that VO to them as well. Okay? There will be swearing in the announcer packs, yeah, sure. But you guys are 50-50. Okay, so I'll do both. I'll do a male. I'll get them to record a male and female via. And then you guys can choose if you want a female global announcer or male, because it's your choice. So I'll give that to Elijah once I've done with the lines. The other thing is like, I'm writing lines and I don't know really which ones I want to use. Because, I mean, there's so many you can write, right? You know, but I'll just do some basic ones to start with. Yeah. So I'll do that. It's fine. I'll just get some basic lines recorded, and then we'll put them in game. Yeah, sorry, we haven't been able to really work on the gameplay, because we kind of changed the size of the maps, and it broke a lot of what I was working on. So we're just going to be fixing that today onwards. But yeah, I don't really want to keep doing the show today, because I want to get back to work. Or start work. So if you guys want, you're more than welcome to ask questions for 10 minutes, and then I'm actually just going to take a cigarette and start working. But basically, keep up to date with the Trello, please. That's really the show overarching concept. It's like, stay on the Trello. Name to be decided. Fuck you. Name's decided. That's a tagline. Rename. There you go. Name's decided. Shiki, the player model should roughly, I think, be around 100 units. Cribs, the VQ3 movement does have crouch sliding in right now. If you do game modding, you might be able to remove it, but yeah. Well, there'll be a demo for Kickstarter. Yeah, hopefully, Echoes. I mean, there's a pre-alpha now. We're just basically working towards alpha, which is getting everything in and tweaking it. I do feel ashamed for having Ebola Spirit in the wallpaper. Now, the female announcer will be done by, okay, so the people that I'm going to do the first announcer pack with is, they're called VAP Squad, which is a Voice Actor Power Squad, right? And they will do the first voices. So I'm going to talk to Elijah, give him some lines, get some stuff recorded. So, yeah. How big's the team working on this? I don't know. A lot of us are part-time, and some of them go from part-time to full-time back to part-time depending on what they're doing. So I'm guessing I would say like there's a core team of about 6-7 people, but there's probably like 15 total. So we should start moving quite fast once we've made some decisions. But we've been moving along anyway. Just some people want us to be faster than we are, which is understandable. Female announcer called Fap Squad, no. The financial model for Reborn, most likely free to play. I can't see it not being free to play. It should be free to play. Yeah, Aztec Gamer, the global announcer should be unchangeable, but the robot voices are probably going to be changeable. And then I'll see if we want to add global announcers just for the sake of it. But I'd rather focus the voice acting on the robots themselves to start with, so we'll see. Because the robot personalities, which is also a voice actor, will basically just, yeah, talk to you and talk to your opponents for you, right? And I feel that if you're going to have something that you spend money on, like if it's a free-to-play game and you buy an announcer pack, a personality robot pack, you want your robot to kind of, affect other people's gameplay. But if you buy a global announcer pack, you're only really affecting your gameplay because no one else has your global announcer. Unless you do what Dota 2 does, which you allow other people to use it for that game. Maybe. But I'm going to focus on this angle to start with, and then I'll change it later if it doesn't feel good. Will there be melee weapons? Not really, but there is a melee attack on the robots. Thanks, Bear Commando. Johan, the concept artist, has done a great job, and he's probably a bigger driving force than us right now because we're trying to catch him up with the engine and the gameplay. So we've got more concept artwork than games sometimes. If you have a really nice voice, you're more than welcome to do some recordings, and we'll listen to them by all means. Yeah, FOIPS. I did forget about that, about Dota, by the way. So maybe I'll make the global announcer changeable as well. Will there be VoIP in game? Yeah. VoIP's actually pretty easy to do. You just implement it. But I think it's on our list of things to upvote for the community. In-game VoIP, yeah. Will there be a bot with a top hat for Total Biscuit? Maybe. I'll ask him if he really needs one. We're using Fmod for game audio. You can do a German accent announcer. Cool. Das ist gut. Ja. Meine Mutter hat braune Augen und braune Haar. Ich spiele Diabotical. I'll also help you with the German announcer lines. Will there be Russian language support? We're localizing all the text in preparation, but we haven't found anybody that we're going to pay for localization yet. So yeah. Considering some pay-to-play games are overrun with cheaters, I find it hard to believe free-to-play is going to be better. I think you're always going to encounter cheaters quadded, so we'll see what we can do. Someone made this on Twitter. Oh yeah, FZ21 actually made a little bit of our map in the Unreal Engine from the concept art. Unfortunately, we're not using the Unreal Engine, so but I would actually like to get hold of this because I know that a lot of the people working on Diabotical have been working in Unreal Engine before, so they could probably go in and check it out and just have a look around, and maybe get some inspiration. So, but yeah, the person who did this was awesome. This totally flipped 180 from what it was at first preview. It's still a spiritual successor to Quake, so it hasn't really flipped 180 at all, trust me. We've changed the art style a little bit, but I think for the better. And hopefully we've improved what we've worked on. Too good. Can we make a custom paint on our bot to give it a unique look? Yeah, you're going to be able to customize your bot in terms of like style and color, but we're probably going to give you stickers that just kind of mash to the mesh, so to speak. So if you want a sticker of stuff, you can do a sticker of stuff. Some people wanted the ability just to paint it like in an MS Paint program, but we felt that might be a little bit too game breaking because you need a base color just to help people identify with like either what team you're on or who you are. So stickers, graffiti, some other stuff, like we're gonna get there, but we don't really know right now. Sorry, I'm very tired. Okay, my 10 minutes are up, but I'll take a couple more questions. 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna have a meeting with Firefrog, and then sort out the map. And then next week should be more interesting. But at least I didn't cancel the show, right? I'm awesome. Also, people would only draw dicks. Yeah, it's true. Clicking. Will there be a pay to win option? No. There won't be paid to win. I will never sell power, so it's whatever. Yeah. Ag host named Fred. I have a great idea. You could sell bot skins in cases just like CS:GO. That's a good idea. I'm doing it. I'll give you $1 for your idea. What engine are we using? Using our own engine. So yeah. Maybe Sheki, maybe give a small level of customization of stickers like color palettes. Yeah, I think that's yeah. Shaky, I think that's a good idea as well. I didn't really think of that. I just felt like stickers. I'm just gonna add card like I'm just gonna add. Did I spell that wrong? I did, didn't I? You can affect the size, you can rotate, and color, and other shit when we think of it. It's got a vote already. You can go vote on your bot stickers. And then we'll work on them. Is that €2? Okay, cool. Thanks. Matchmaking is the most important, it seems, for you guys. All right, last question, and then we gotta go because I'm gonna go work and have a shower. What have you guys said? Could you give a small level of customization to get like color palette? Yeah, I agree with you, Shaky. I agree with what you said. It's all good. So I've seen the concept art of the huge robot. Now I'm tuning in to see these egg robots. Changing concept or just different game mode? Oh, yeah, we scrapped the big robot bear commando just because it was a little bit too serial. And we're going for something a little bit iconic, hopefully a bit unique. And also it helps with the hitboxes and also the speed in which we can model and animate. So it actually keeps the price down of development. So these robots that you're seeing here cost less to produce than, say, the robot which you saw a long time ago, which was like this. You know, we actually had a high render of that there then. Yeah, so this is going to cost a lot more to make, animate, and be awesome, and this will cost us less. So we go with the cost less but also more awesome because that's how we roll. We're cheap motherfuckers. But I really appreciate you just asking that question, Bear Commander, because it's nice that you remembered because you were here such a long time ago. Alright, okay, I'm going to go. It's an FPS game, spiritual successor of Quake. It's got robots in it. We're still working on it. Today's show was more, last week I did a lot of meetings, but we decided a lot of stuff. I'm now going to take all those decisions and work with people, and we're going to go for a sprint to get everything that we've talked about into the game as quickly as possible. I love you all, and I bid you adieu as I will disappear. Okay, so I'll be back next week to do stuff. And Yummy Fetus has, oh my god, your name. Yummy Fetus has cancelled the show. He says, wrap it up and fuck off. Great idea. Let's all go watch Twitch streams that have good content and wait for Game of Thrones. Even though 4 episodes have already been leaked. I'm probably watch them. And go on the Trello, and stay up to date, please. And vote on stuff. It's really important. The more you vote, the more I care. Alright, goodbye. Love you all.